Another question people ask when it comes to speaking with tongues is, when we are gathered together as a body of believers and everybody starts blasting in tongues when we are praying, is it right or wrong? That is, we are gathered together and a prayer point is raised and everybody begins to pray in tongues. And some people will be shouting loud in tongues. Is this scriptural? Can't they just pray in the language that everybody understands? Well, that's another thing that confuses a lot of people. If you have watched some of my previous videos, I'd already explained the fact that praying in tongues is different from giving a message in tongues. Now, I want you to see giving a message in tongues like a preacher coming to preach in the congregation. When a preacher is giving a message in the congregation, he has to give the message in the language that everybody understands. For instance, even if I go somewhere to preach and I want to speak my mother tongue, and I know that the people I'm talking to do not understand my mother tongue, there has to be someone interpreting my mother tongue. So I don't want you to take this praying in tongues too far. It's a language, and if God wants to speak through somebody in tongues, then there has to be someone there to interpret. If the person giving the message in tongues cannot interpret. However, when it comes to prayer, it is not a message given to anybody. Prayer is, I'm talking to God. So it's just like we are gathered together and they raise the prayer point and everybody begins to speak in Igbo or speak in Yoruba. I can start praying very loud in Yoruba. The Igbo man around me can start speaking very loud in Igbo. An Hausa man can start speaking very loud in Hausa. All of us can start speaking, and you see a lot of people shouting, praying in their own mother tongue. Is it right or wrong? It's right, because they are not giving a message to one another. They are praying to God. So they can start blasting in any language they like. So when it comes to praying in tongues, you can pray in tongues very loud when you are in the congregation among believers. However, it's not that you are going to be disturbing other people by praying in tongues or blasting in tongues when you are at home or you are in a secluded environment that is quiet. However, if it's in a congregation where the prayer point has been raised, you can pray in tongues aloud, except your congregation frowns at it. If your congregation frowns at it, then you have to obey the rules of your congregation. But the question of whether it's right or wrong, there's nothing wrong in it. If it is praying in tongues, if you are praying to God in tongues, everybody there can be blasting in tongues, and all of them are right. However, when it comes to giving a message in tongues, then there has to be an interpreter, because if you are giving a message to me in a language I don't understand, I will not be edified. For instance, now if you send somebody to me to tell me something that will benefit me, if the person comes and speaks a language I don't understand, I've not been benefited. Perhaps maybe you send the person to come and tell me that food is ready, or they are sharing something and I want you to partake in it. Perhaps maybe they are sharing some dividends in some banks and you want me to partake of it. Then you send someone to me to give me that message, and the person comes around and speaks a language I don't understand. I have not been benefited. I have not been edified. Any message given to me must edify me. It must build me up, or it must be to the point that I can take action based on the message. And that's exactly how giving a message in tongues and praying in tongues are different. If you are giving a message in tongues, the people around you must be edified. They must understand what you're talking about. It must benefit them. But if it comes to praying in tongues, when a prayer point is raised, I can start blasting in tongues. Everybody can start blasting in tongues. We don't have to understand one another, because we're not talking to one another, we're talking to God. So it's right to blast in tongues when we are gathered as believers. However, when it comes to giving a message in tongues, we have to speak to the people we are talking to in a language they can understand. I believe you got something from this video. I challenge you to be in charge, be in control, and take responsibility. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.